5 children in the bedroom gathered embers from the fire. He aimed to burn the 6 angels up, but fate had one more victim in mind.
Flames leaped higher. The gray man realized the show was gone.
The flames consumed him. Now during a dust storm.
By the way, I love that Amiah gets the last word. Because that's all that matters. Anyway. Yeah, that's all that matters. Anyway. So, it's been 2 years. This is a special Amiah. This is Amiah Thursday. And yep, executive producer Sarah Paulson. So we'll go over the credits in a moment. Let me just say that it was a very good movie. It has been 2 years since my best friend's Exorcism, which I think Exorcism is Amiah's best acting role. And The Waterman is the best story that had Amiah in it. This one, she mostly reacts to what's going on with Margaret. So let's go over the casts really quick. But first, let's look at this. This is Movie Phone's exclusive interview with Sarah Paulson. Movie Phone, the interviewer asks, can you talk about Margaret's relationship with her daughter and working with actress Amiah Miller? Sarah says, well, I loved Amiah so much immediately. Amiah and I share an agent, so I got slipped her audition before I think it even made its way to our directors. One moment. I have to adjust everything here. I wrote to them immediately and said, I think there's no question that this is our girl. They had the same reaction when they saw her audition. It was just so self-possessed, emotional, full, and real. She was just a joy to work with. I'm sure she's going to be a big fat superstar, and I hope she'll still take my call. It's always exciting. I mean, Amiah hasn't had a ton of work experience, so it was a lovely thing. Yet she's at the precipice of becoming a grown woman. So it was wonderful to be able to watch her navigate what it was like to be on a set, and how she was able to navigate probing these emotional places in herself. She was just a consummate professional and an incredible scene partner who was always just right there with me, emotional always and never afraid to meet me right where I was and encouraged me to be just that much more truthful. I just can't say enough about her. I loved being her mother, even if it's only for a moment. Well, I don't know. It's, you know who I would have cast as mom. You remember I said that on Mother's Day. So the setup, the plot here is, hold your breath. In 1930s Oklahoma, a young mother, Sarah Paulson, haunted by the past, becomes convinced that a mysterious presence in dust storms is threatening her family and takes extraordinary measures to protect them. I thought it said 1873, but maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. But there were cars and things, so there was a modern tone to it. So I don't know why I thought I saw it wrong. I always see things wrong. So let's look at all the information. So you got Ashley Ashford. She's the, what is it? Esther, Aunt Esther. Now, Aunt Esther has a double meaning from my point of view. Eben Moss Bacharach. You got Eben Moss. You got Bill Heck. I think Bill Heck is the sheriff. You got director Carrie Krause. Talked about her before. Searchlight Pictures. Now, this movie was in a little development hell because it started out as Dust, and then it almost did not get released. Searchlight Pictures eventually picked up this movie. It was more of an independent film. Now, I'm going to say something a little bit fucked up. I really don't care, for Sarah Paulson. I'm happy for Sarah Paulson. She'll get that Oscar. She's got to get that Oscar. She's going to get that Oscar. I don't care. I came for Amiah. 90%, 95% of the audience came for Sarah Paulson, and you're going to get a Sarah Paulson movie. And her performance is very good. And I would take that performance seriously. I mean, she got a Tony. She's going to go for that Oscar. She's going to try to go for that Oscar. Okay? That's what she wants. I really don't care about Oscars or Emmys or Grammys or Tonys or any of that, or even Razzies. Though I thought Halle Berry and Sandra Bullock were stunning and brave when they took those Razzies home, because they knew when a movie didn't work, they took home that Razzie. They knew that was an admission that sometimes you're not always that great. But in this one, she was fine. Um, I will say there was problems with Margaret, with Sarah's character, in that I wanted to like her at the beginning. Now, maybe I'm spoiled by reading comic books and Injustice. And Injustice, you saw Superman at his heroic top, right? You saw him being Superman for a little while. And then he descended into madness. Now, you kind of saw some of that, but I wanted to kind of maybe see a little bit of her and the husband, even if the husband is played by a body double or somebody, it's just not somebody who's really an actor. Maybe it's just somebody who fills in the canvas, right? And you see her being normal, right? Oh, everything's fine. And then it's kind of like better than comparing that to Superman. The Shining, where Jack Torrance, right? Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson starts out as this very, humble dad that doesn't really stick out until they get to that hotel. Then he starts descending into madness, and he goes after Danny in that hedge maze. You remember that? I could not forget that hedge maze in the snow if you paid me. That was sort of like what Margaret goes through, but we kind of chopped off the beginning part. I think we needed to see more of that. So I'm going to put this movie under scrutiny. Um, I am so impressed with Amiah's sign language. Just to remember her name, because I'm going to force myself to remember. It's not easy to remember the name, but I think I did it right. Amiah. And yeah, so that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do, sign language, but the way I'm doing it, just kind of putting the hand signs right. It's the space and how you're looking. I took 2, maybe 3 classes in sign language, so I'm not very fluent. Couldn't get a job in it. I was not very well liked. I've had some traumatic job interview experiences. That's another time. But I think Amiah does extremely well with the sign language. She's learned a little bit from Planet of the Apes, and she's probably had some intermediate courses on the set. Try to get refresher. Remember all these things. Remember your signs. I know a little bit of sign language. I know Japanese. I know Spanish and English. Maybe a little bit of Russian. YouTube helped me out with that one. So the whole thing is a horror movie in which you have dust storms. You got this guy, Wallace. Now, this is what pisses me off, okay? Because Margaret, oh, by the way, the character is Rose Bellum for Amiah Miller. Rose Bellum. Not Rosemary Bellum, but Rose Bellum. And my favorite part of that, my favorite Amiah moment, other than the one you saw with her reading The Gray Man to her little sister, is that she gets the green dress, but that gets ruined. There'll be spoilers in this. I don't care. It's after 4 a.m, and I really wanted to do this because I know Amiah will wake up around 6:30, 7 o'clock, or whatever. And whichever states she's in, but I will say that Sarah Paulson's character has that shotgun, and Wallace comes in. Okay, the Baccarat character, right? Eben Moss, the Baccarat guy, comes out, creepily comes into the attic, and she should have shot him before he even touched Rose, before he even put his hands on her. And then she let him burn the letter. Now, that was the turning point, I felt. That all she had to do was shoot the guy dead before he burned that letter. And that would have been it. Probably would have been the end of it, maybe. Maybe she would have felt relief. Maybe she would have figured out what happened to her husband. But no, she lets the guy go, and she descends further into madness. This is a woman that could not, she would let her daughters get raped in a different scenario. And I've seen Mexican movies where the girl gets raped. Oh, those are horrible movies. Horrible movies. But yeah, so she's not a good mother. She does her sewing, she cuts herself, she stitches her hand, She cuts up her leg. She's got problems. Kind of reminds me of this short movie where the woman is in a house, not unlike the one that the Bellums are in. There's like this old ugly cabin house, this old like wooden house, this old school house, colonial house, in the middle of a dust storm. In the middle of a dust. By the way, Eastern Washington had some dust storm warnings. I hope they're doing all right. But yeah, Eastern Washington's having problems with dust storms. And this one short movie, this woman was waiting for her husband to come home, and she gave birth to a human man that looks just like her husband. Or maybe it was herself. I don't know what it was. But something about this movie reminded me of that. It was a creepy, gory movie, which a lot of gore stuff happens. So Margaret's hallucinating. She's seeing things. Oh, yeah. So according to Rose Bellum, good on Amiah's character, she points out that her mom is sleepwalking. Sleepwalking, going through the motions, just like moving the chairs, setting the bed on fire. She rips up Rose's dress, her nice green dress, prettiest dress in the movie. And everything goes wrong. The skip to my loo square dancing thing goes wrong, and got the piano going on, and some nice Christian families living nearby, but everybody's scared of Margaret because she's lost her damn mind. There was that one boy that was coughing all the time and wearing that creepy mask that looks like something out of Rob Zombie's movies. But yeah, I don't know whatever happens to him. We don't know if he ever gets cured of his cough. We don't know. Maybe there's probably a deleted scene of Wallace healing the boy, but maybe they took out Wallace. I don't know. So there's a lot of things going on. We never find out what happens to that boy. We never find out a lot of things. So, Esther gets killed by Margaret, and then there was a scene that I love so much. It's basically Amiah. Rose Bellum walks in and plots to kill her mom. She got the blade. I saw that knife before we even got an extreme close-up. I saw that knife. I was like, cool, good, slasher. And no, because the little sister, her deaf sister walked in, and it's like, shit. So then she tricks her to going out in the dust storm, but she always ties a rope to the doorknob of the front door of the house so she doesn't get lost, right? So she goes into this dust storm and comes back. So Rose cuts the rope and lets Margaret out in the dust and leaves her to die. And then the two girls run away. Now, this kind of reminds me of, if not the book, the movie of Mice and Men with John Malkovich and what's the other guy? What's that guy's name? Mr. Gary Sinise. Yeah, Gary. I always remember Gary Sinise from Forrest Gump. So Gary Sinise was George, and then John Malkovich played Lenny, and Lenny killed the girl, right? He killed Sherilyn Fenn. So Gary Sinise said George has to kill Lenny. Once George kills Lenny, that's it. He takes the bus ride somewhere else. Because if he didn't do it, the hunters would have, who were like friends with Sherilyn Fenn, her character, they would have killed Lenny anyway. So it was better if George had done his brother in, and then he just took off. And then, so Rose takes her sister. I forget the sister's name. There was another sister. There were 3 daughters, so one of them died. And Margaret sees her in a dream, Ada. So I should get all these characters' names right. Let me see what is the girl. And she, by the way, I don't know if it might have been scheduling conflicts, or maybe Amiah wasn't invited, or maybe there was tension or whatever. I mean, I'm just making all this up in my head, so I don't want to allude to anything. But Amiah did not attend the Toronto event. It was just Sarah Paulson, and I think the other actor, the child actor. Let me see. Who was that? Was that I have to see who all these actors are. Oh, okay. Alona Jane Robbins, I think. I think it's, yeah, Alona Jane Robbins. So she played the deaf sister. And I think she was there at the event too. Or there were two different actors, I think. But anyway. So yeah, it was kind of a shame she didn't show up to that. But I don't know. But anyway. So yeah, so the two sisters move on. They're on the train. The last things you see there, that's what I showed you. Now it's time to score this. Did I enjoy this? Would I watch it again? I would watch the green dress scene again. Just because it's like here you have Rose Bellum's hopes, like the moment that she gets the green dress from her mom, and you think everything's going to be great, and then she thinks that her daughter is coughing up dust or she can't breathe, and she rips up her dress, and it's like oh, that sucks. I would watch that scene over again. And maybe, I would watch the knife scene over again, where she's about to kill her mom, but she doesn't do it. I would watch those two scenes again, but I don't know about the whole movie. And that's about it. I mean, maybe those clips will be up on YouTube somewhere via Hulu or via Disney, or some idiot will put it out there. Not me, though. I'm not going to do that. I don't need to lose my channel. So it's time to, but I will be giving a letter grade now. And hold your breath, Amiah. Hold your breath, because here comes my grade. C. I'll give it a C plus. I'll give it a little C plus. Let's put the little C plus. So there you go. Not everybody's mad at me. So there you go. C plus. Sort of. Okay. So I can't do a C plus. Fuck this. It's late. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm tired. C plus. I wouldn't watch it again for a while, but I would watch certain scenes. Coming up is going to be, hopefully, if all goes well with Yellowstone season 6, if it's a green light for that, there's a good chance we'll see some of the Madison show. That's going to be on Paramount Plus. And the best thing about it is that I can get that on DVD later. So Amiah, I'm not sure if she's doing actual, I'm assuming she's doing episode productions, doing run-throughs and rehearsals, and riding horses, playing her guitar, having some nice food. I got to see her Western dinner. I won't say what the Western dinner is out of respect, because whatever pictures she never shows, I don't repost them. So just so you know that. Okay, so next time we'll see what happens with Madison, but I might do a live stream drawing of Amiah as, you know what, I might draw her in the green dress just for fun, just see if I can do that live. See if I can have some fun with that. Probably draw it on black paper, like color pencils on black, and I draw like white out outlines. It's neat. So I might do that as a live stream, see how that goes. And just have fun with it. That's it. All right. And I'm going to be reviewing Joker 2 later on today. Stay tuned for that. Much love to you.